Hey guys, how's it going? So, just got done watching all the conferences and gonna give you my thoughts on what happened with all the conferences that happened today: Microsoft, Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, and then Sony. And yeah, so all right. I wrote stuff down, so I'm just gonna go over what I wrote down. And what I wrote down is just really what was interesting to me. I'm not gonna write everything down that happened at the conference. It was just stuff that's interesting to me, um, and stuff that I'm interested in playing. All right. So mhm, let's see. All right. Well, to start it off, Halo 4, was the first game that Microsoft showed at their conference, and let me just say, as far as graphics go, huge jump. I mean, Halo has always been one of those games that never really fully utilized the Xbox's power, and it shows when you look at Halo's like water effects, for instance. It looks like a PS2 like HD, remastered version of like, some old game. They never really had great graphics. And Halo 4 has like beautiful visuals. Like they're really making good use of lighting, of all the detail on his armor and all the weapons and the environments. It looks good. Uh, the problem that I have with Halo 4 is that it's the same gameplay. It has the same reloading animation for the guns, and it looks like it looks like it plays the same. And that's the problem I think that's been just going on for a while now, is that there's no they haven't taken like all these series like Halo, Gears of War. It's just all been the same gameplay. There hasn't been anything, new that they brought to the series or franchise, and it's getting kind of old now. So, I mean, as far as Halo goes, it's they did good, but great visuals and everything, but it doesn't look like it plays, you know, as nice as you would expect to play. I mean, Halo 3 came out in 2007, 2007 I think. It's been 5 years. You would think they would do something to drastically change the gameplay. Instead of just kind of rehashing the same old gameplay. That there's nothing. A lot of fans are obviously going to like the gameplay, but the thing is, if they introduce something new, then not only will it give a broader audience of people to purchase it for that reason, it looks better to showcase. That we understand Halo's been out for a while, and right now we're going to give you the same game that you know and love, but we're going to change some things up a little bit. We're still going to keep what makes the franchise, what makes the franchise great, and here's how the game is going to play. As long as it plays well, and people wouldn't have any problem, adapting. But so many people just don't want to take the risk anymore. They just say, I really think it's Call of Duty's fault. Um, And the reason is because there hasn't been a core gameplay change for Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4, and all these developers and companies just saw how well they did with the series, and then they can come out and be like, hey, look at all the sales they got, we can do that too, and they just throw out and rehash the same old exclusive, the same old gameplay and stuff like that, and I just think that's the problem here. So, but it looked good. Graphics are good. Splinter Cell Blacklist was announced. Now, that was actually on my list. That was on my list for pre-E3 thoughts. I wanted them to announce Splinter Cell Blacklist, and they did. Looks pretty good. It plays the same as Splinter Cell Conviction, it looks like. I mean, like, you still have that same, what did they call it? You still have the same mechanic where you can just like target shoot enemies like all at one time, and it has more of an action focused, I think, now, which is good. But I was aching for another Splinter Cell game. But yeah, it looks like it plays the same. So there wasn't really too much of an excitement on there. All right, next up is Forza Horizon. Now, here's the thing I'm kind of confused about. The trailer, the first debut trailer for Forza Horizon looked like it was an arcade racer, and in the trailer that they showed, there was rally racing and all these, like, events and stuff that you would be racing in, but then they mention it's an open world game. So it's kind of like this. Let's combine like the events and the different gameplay and stuff of Forza, the simulation, racing part, but let's put it in a Test Drive Unlimited open world environment, sort of. It's like, let's take Test Drive Unlimited and Forza and put them together, and that's kind of what you get, Forza Horizon. As far as an open world, I think that's nice and everything. At the same time, I wasn't really sold on it completely. But it was nice that they got an exclusive in there. So, oh yeah, too much sports. I think they really focused heavily like on sports and everything. There was too much. There was an overexcitement for sports on Xbox. So, it was like for a full like 30, 45 minutes, they were just showcasing sports games like on and on. I was like, okay. I mean, I don't play sports games. I know a lot of people do. They're really popular games. And I just thought they focused a little bit too much on that. They didn't give time for like any other thing to be put in. Nike Plus was announced. I mean, it's like Wii Fitness, but they're giving you, it's like Wii Fitness with Kinect. That's all it is. Kinect Fitness, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, it looks decent. All right, I might try it out and just see how it is, but like there isn't really any incentive to do that. But we'll see how it goes. It's kind of weird though. Gears of War Judgment. That was announced, featuring Baird as the main character. Now they said that Baird was actually the most beloved character in the franchise. I think they said, or the series. I think they did say that, but I was surprised by it. I'm like, really, Baird of all people? He just yells out and likes to complain. Like in the first game, he wasn't really a likable person at all. And I mean, I don't know. I didn't really like Baird as a character. I thought out of all the characters, Dom was probably my favorite out of all of them. So I mean, I don't know. Xbox Smart Glass, the Xbox to device integration. Now, what's really cool about that is this basically with introducing Smart Glass from Microsoft, they basically fingered the Nintendo, and basically said we could do it too. And instead of purchasing a new controller or a new piece of equipment, you can use it with your existing smartphone or tablet device. And this it's kind of funny because Nintendo, like, they revolutionize, they think that they, got it all revolutionized, that they're great, and they're like, we just added a whole new, second screen to the controller. No one's ever going to think of this. No one can ever do this but us. And then a year later, Microsoft comes in and kind of, basically says, we can do it too. We can do it cheaper than you too. So it's going to be available on your smartphone or your tablet, any tablet, they said that works. So that's nice. At the same time, I don't know if I'm actually going to be using that hardcore. We'll see. We'll see what kind of features it holds, because as far as developers go, like, they have to integrate that into cell phones as well. Like, they can't just that's not like an automatic thing. They have to integrate that. But in Halo 4, they used it to like do a like some guy sent him an invite to a multiplayer game. He just clicked multiplayer on his tablet, and the game automatically saved and it went to multiplayer immediately. So I mean, stuff like that. But it's kind of like that's exactly what Nintendo's doing. So, and already we're getting spin-offs. Internet Explorer on Xbox. Now, Xbox is the only console that doesn't have an internet browser. And this is Internet Explorer now is coming to Xbox. I don't like Internet Explorer at all, but it's Microsoft's browser, so of course they're going to implement that into their console. But, I mean, I don't use the Internet browser on my PS3. I don't use it on my Wii. I'm not going to be using it on my Xbox. If I want to look up something on the internet, I'll go on my phone first, or I'll go on my desktop computer. I mean, my game console is going to be like the last place I go on the internet for. But they're finally going to be putting that on there, which is nice. I wonder if I think it is Flash based. I think it does has Flash support. So. Then they showed some Tomb Raider gameplay, some new gameplay. Looks good. You know, I think they need to work on her jumping animation because when she jumps, it's kind of like you have this realistic movement of her, like, you know, she's struggling and it's this, you know, kind of realistic thing. And then when she jumps, she like shoots 50 feet in the air like she's flying, and it looks kind of, you know, cartoony. You know, it's kind of like you're walking normal and all of a sudden you jump really high and then you like land. It's just we need to work on making that more realistic. You know, so realistic looking. Resident Evil 6 looks good. A lot of people are disappointed that they're taking the action route. Capcom said that there's not an audience anymore that wants this true survival horror game, which they're kind of correct for. I mean, only the true Resident Evil fans are going to actually want a survival horror game. The rest of the main core audience just wants to blow zombies apart. You know, they don't care. They don't want to have to worry about I have to go collect a health pack, or I have to worry about uh, I have to worry about you know, the amount of ammo that I carry or anything like that. They just want to have fun. So they're right on that, on their defense right there. But it looks good. Fantastic visuals, like really good visuals. So I'm excited for that. Dance Central 3 they showed off. I'm guessing they're gonna do a Dance Central game every year now. So I didn't buy Dance Central 2. I don't know if I'm gonna buy Dance Central 3. We'll see. I mean, I don't really play my Kinect that much anyway, but now that I have more space in my room, you know, I might be able to do that, so we'll see. And then Usher, you know, did a live performance for that game. Black Ops 2 was the last game they showed. And it's kind of weird because they showed Modern Warfare 3 first on their E3 2011 conference, but now they showed it last. And I think a lot of people were really anticipating a title that was going to be, you know, was going to be a new start for the series, was really going to showcase, you know, what they could do. And it had good graphics, but it's the same gameplay. It looks like it plays exactly the same as Modern Warfare 3. The same movement animations, you know, with your simple gun going like this the whole time while you move, and the same, you know, sprinting mechanics, the same arcade. There's like, it just looks like it's the same experience as far as gameplay goes. I'm just, I don't know what they're doing anymore. I really don't, because it's just so disappointing to see. I mean, I loved Black Ops. I really like Black Ops is my favorite Call of Duty. Yeah, my favorite Call of Duty ever made, even over Call of Duty 4. I really thought it had a great campaign. I loved the multiplayer. I liked how they changed it. Hopefully they will do something to change it here again, but Call of Duty needs a core gameplay change. Not because the gameplay is, you know, horrendous, but because it's just getting to the point where they're really just paying more in a way that, you know, because I know a lot of people are Call of Duty fans. And if I'm going to say something like it needs a core gameplay change, a lot of people are going to say, what? It plays fine. They're not going to realize that, you know, not everyone wants to pay $60 and play the same game every single time. What I mean by core gameplay change is if you're not going to change the perspective, if you're not going to change the look of the game, to change how it feels to play. A good example is the change of gameplay from Uncharted 2 to Uncharted 3. Uncharted 2, Nathan felt, you know, very lightweight. You can just throw him, you know, anywhere around the corner. He would just bounce back. He didn't feel like a realistic character. And in Uncharted 3, they added a weight system to him. So now you have now he feels a lot more heavier. He doesn't move as fast. There's more animations, you know, that make him feel just more believable. And that's just the type of thing that I think they need to implement into Call of Duty. They need to you know, stop with this arcade shooting, and while they can still retain the arcade shooting, just change how the game looks or change how the game plays from one game to another. All right, and they can do that by adding more recoiled weapons or something like that. I mean, I don't know. Just change the gameplay, please. So Black Ops 2 definitely not getting that on release day. I already made up my mind. Even though the campaign's probably going to be fantastic, I'm not going to spend $60 and make a mistake like I did with Modern Warfare 3. That was like the last call. Gears of War Judgment, I saw gameplay of that on GTTV. They showed it after the conference, and it looks like it plays exactly the same as Gears of War 3, so nothing special there. But overall, Microsoft's conference was very, it just wasn't interesting. Like, they didn't have anything new to bring to the table. It was better than last year's. Like, they focused more on their core games than they did on their PlayStation. I'm sorry, their Kinect, motion control games. Even though they still, tried to showcase a lot of it there, but they didn't have. They had more games this time around, so I didn't think it was horrendous like a lot of people are saying, but I didn't think it was, decent by any means. I thought it was barely touching, the decent meter, like right around there. So we'll see. I mean, Microsoft, they just don't have anything really new and innovative to bring to the table. Now, Electronic Arts E3 2012 press conference was, I mean, okay. It was okay. Kind of lacking, but they did show off some pretty cool games. Dead Space 3, the first game they showed off, it looks fantastic. It features an online co-op campaign, which I'm kind of concerned about. Will the online co-op campaign take away from the survival horror, or the horror feeling that you have during the game? Because the game's known for scaring you. The game has a fantastic horror elements. As far as you being alone on a ship in a dark area and things can pop out of you any second. Now you're gonna have a buddy along with you, and you're not gonna feel like you're really you're not gonna feel like you're at a disadvantage as much as you did in the first two games, because the first two games were really like just like you're stuck here, anything could happen, and you don't have any help. Well, now you have backup, and I'm just wondering, do you think that will possibly take away from the horror element of the game? So, but it looks good. There is third-person shooting mechanics, but there's no cover system, which I think is kind of odd. I mean, all you can do is crouch behind a wooden block, but that doesn't really protect you well. You can see that the guy was getting shot, even though he was crouched behind some barrels. But they should have a cover system for third-person shooting mechanics. They might add that. The game launches, I think, March or February 2013, one of those. We'll see. Battlefield 3 single-player content is coming. Well, they did announce single-player content. Quite, not just one single-player content, but I think there was a couple in there. But they also announced Battlefield 3 Premium, or Battlefield Premium, whatever you want to call it. It's $50, which is awful. That's a horrible price. First of all, let me tell you why it's a horrible price. That would have been acceptable if the game was new. But the problem is, it's $50 for a game that's been out for too long, and that people have already played, and that only the core audience plays now. I don't play Battlefield 3 anymore online. I really don't. But the core audience, their hardcore fan base, does. And I just think it's a little bit too late for them to bring in, a premium service when the game's been out for 7 months now. So I think 8 months, maybe even 9 months. It launched in October, so yeah, I think 9 months. It's a little bit too late for them to, bring in a premium service. They saw what happened with Call Elite. They said, okay, well, we can do that too. And the problem is they didn't release any new DLC. There's been the Back to Carcand, but that's all they released in a period of 9 months. So it's like they were, kind of holding it all in to, release at this press conference and release for this service. So I just think I think it's stupid. That's all. I mean, I'm only interested in the single player content for Battlefield 3. So it's a little bit too pricey for a game that's way too old. Medal of Honor Warfighter, it looks good. I'm kind of disappointed too. It looks like Battlefield 3.5. The same people, Danger Close Studio, who developed the campaign for Medal of Honor back in 2010, they're now working on the multiplayer, the full actual game package, instead of DICE coming in and having to reconfigure the multiplayer so it plays completely different from the single player campaign. but now Medal of Honor Warfighter, you know, it's all being developed by one person. But it looks like Battlefield 3.5. Kind of disappointing on that, but I like the campaign in Medal of Honor, so hopefully Warfighter will have as good as good of a campaign as well. Another too many sports games. They just after that they just oversaturated you with sports games, and you know, they got UFC, you know, and that stuff. That was like a big deal for them. So it's good. Need for Speed Most Wanted. They showed that, and that looks fantastic. Criterion Games, they developed Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which was my racing game, or my choice for racing game of the year of 2010. They did a fantastic job of making Most Wanted, you know, look good, but at the same time, like, really, you know, catch attention for other, you know, people who aren't necessarily into racing games, because it looks like it's combining the open world gameplay. I never played, you know, the original Most Wanted, so I don't know what to say, kind of as far as, you know, comparison goes. But it's open world. There's gonna be online progressive features. Now you'll be able to, you know, race with your friends and cause more destruction and be the most wanted out of your friends. So that'll be pretty interesting. Fantastic graphics built on the Frostbite engine too, probably. And then at the same time, it's a Hot Pursuit developer, which is basically revived the Need for Speed series with Hot Pursuit. And I'm really interested in that. It looks fantastic. So definitely thinking of picking that up on release day. I think it comes out October 30th. Every single game's coming out in October. It's a little bit too much right now. So we'll see. And then Crysis 3, which is by far one of the most disappointing things that I think ever was, you know, was at E3 so far. And the reason is because, I mean, it's Crysis 2.5. And here's my question. Why is Prophet, your squad leader from the first game, and the person who killed himself right in front of you in the second game, why is he in this game now? Why is your character him? It just doesn't make sense. At the beginning of Crysis 2, he blew his brains out. We saw his body right there. He wasn't moving. We kept punching him. He wasn't moving. Why is Prophet alive all of a sudden? Why is he in, you know, the nano suit? And what is happening here? What is happening? I don't know what they're doing with the story. As far as gameplay goes, they didn't change anything. It looks stupid. You can argue the fact, oh, it has a bow and arrow now. Who gives a crap, all right? I don't care about bow and arrow, all right? I don't. That's nice that you have a bow and arrow in there, but am I going to buy the game because of your stupid bow and arrow? No. It's nice that you're going back to, you know, your open world roots, but at the same time, just why is the story so fucked up? Honestly, what is going on? I don't even know what's going on anymore. Why is the story such, like, it's just so insanely difficult to comprehend at the moment right now. I mean, I really hope they just clear it up completely in Crysis 3, because if it's just a complete twist and just if they completely mindfuck you, just bullshit that happens with the story, then it's gonna be awful. So I mean, I just don't know. I don't know why Prophet's in the game. He killed himself. I don't know why your character, if it's not Prophet, sounds exactly like Prophet. It's like they couldn't have the money to hire a different voice actor or something. So we'll see. Ubisoft's E3 2012. My thoughts. Far Cry 3, they showed that. Quickly becoming one of my most anticipated titles. It is the second most anticipated title of the year. It probably is up there with Dishonored. I don't know yet, but we'll see. Far Cry 3 looks amazing, though. There's underwater combat, as they showed when you were swimming. Some guy actually attacked you underwater, and you could stab him. So you actually have underwater combat now. You can now do double takedowns, which is pretty cool. He was, you know, sneaking in the forest, and then you saw him take down one guy and then do another guy, and pretty awesome there. You have a bow and arrow as well. So this year seems to be like the year of bow and arrows and like third-person shooters, because like every game's having a bow and arrow all of a sudden. But you got a bow and arrow now, which you should have probably expected. It's, you know, a jungle-like open-world game. Of course, you're gonna have a bow and arrow. You know, it looks good. There's tigers. They're showing a tiger combat scene where a tiger like jumped out of the woods and you had to like I think it blew him up with a grenade or something. It was crazy. But there's animal combat, which is pretty interesting. It'll be good for variety. And then crazy, insane cinematic experiences when Voss stabbed you with it looked like a knife, but it looked like it had something on it. But you went into Wonderland here, and you're just walking around. And you see, Voss here trying to, telling you to shoot him, and then as you shoot him, it's actually you. So it's kind of like insane. It's just really insane cinematic experiences that are going on here. They're really crazy. Um, Again, it was very corny, very cheesy. There wasn't really what are right here? No, what are right there? I mean, the jokes were just they weren't funny. The audience didn't really seem to care. And then you had this stupid question guy come up every saying, "Wasn't that exciting? Wasn't that exciting?" So by the way, here's a question from Twitter, and he asked, "Will the game be open world?" And there's stuff like that, and I just don't understand. If you're gonna have people who are gonna be asking questions, all right, if you're gonna actually take that into account, why couldn't you just have the main host who was what's her name now? But it was the girl was hosting, and she did a fairly good job. Uh, she wasn't that, but she was much better than Mr. Caffeine. But why wouldn't she just have like the question posted up like on the screen, and then she would just read the screen to the to the guy giving the demo, and then he could answer it that way. I don't know why you need to have some separate guy just for comedic relief. I mean, there was nothing funny about that, so I don't know why they added that. Assassin's Creed 3 looks fantastic. Great graphics. Improved melee combats. So looking forward to the single player campaign and everything like that. They actually have just like before, they're gonna have new and interesting ways to approach your missions. Okay, and then I wrote "Shut up, host." Actually, did write that. See, "Shut up, host" right there. At one point, they were just rambling on, and I just couldn't take it anymore, so I just wrote "Shut up, hosts." A new IP. Ubisoft was. I was gonna destroy Ubisoft in this video, and then they announced that new IP. Then they took that step, and now they have just. I mean, I love. No matter they could have had that conference be like. I don't. It could have been like the worst conference ever. All right, but the fact that they showed a new IP, something different, all right, that no one else is showing at the moment, except for I think a couple people. There's actually Sony's conference had a couple of people, but that no one else is really showing at the moment. They took the first step. They quickly just they grew from my major dislike meter. They shot themselves all the way up to the I love you meter. Because honestly, this new IP just doesn't look good. It looks amazing. It looks like freaking it looks like the Samaritan demo for the Unreal Engine 3, where they showed the guy and he turned into like a robot thingy on metal. It was the tech demo, the Samaritan demo for Unreal Engine 3. And I remember seeing that demo. I was like, I really wish that was the game because that looks awesome. That looks like this game, but like with a more or less fictional plot. But it's a new IP. It's called Watch Dogs. It involves a CTOS. Basically, what happens is you have the ability to hack into the network and scramble, phone signals, see through video cameras, disrupt traffic, anything like electricity, water, and all these resources are available at your disposal, and you can you have control over everything. So in one part of the mission, he posted or he scrambled the telephone signals, and everyone's standing there with their cell phone. And they're all walking away trying to get a signal. So as the main guard, as he's walking away trying to get a signal, he was able to walk into that building. And I'm sure there was other ways to walk into the building as well, but insane graphics. When they first showed that trailer of CTOS or Watch Dogs, I forgot the full name for what CTOS stands for. When they first showed that trailer, which wasn't really a trailer, when they first showed the footage of Watch Dogs, and it was just the buildings and it was the environment, and then they saw the character walking, all of a sudden that map appeared on screen. I'm like, that was gameplay? when that map appeared on screen, I was blown away as far as the visuals go, because that game did not look that footage did not look like gameplay. It looked like a pre-rendered cutscene. Like, it honestly looked that amazing. So insane graphics. You know, again, developers are pushing the consoles, the current consoles that we have, and that was being played on an Xbox 360. So, like, they really, you know, I mean, the Xbox, you know, is surprisingly putting out a lot of different, you know, good-looking games. You know, like, they really are putting out good graphically impressive games, but like, they really just blew it out of the water here with their insane visuals. A believable world. It takes place in Chicago, a real place, and you can see, like, as he was walking down, there was like thousands of NPCs all doing different things. They were all talking to someone. They had different animations. In fact, I think they're all wearing something different in terms of clothing. Like, it looked like the most believable open world experience ever. Um, instant control over, you know, like I talked about, resources, anything electronic, surveillance, water, light, you know, electricity, stuff like that. It's probably the biggest surprise, I would have to say, of E3 so far. All right, that was the biggest surprise, was Watch Dogs. And it's probably one. It's actually, I wrote this down. The most cinematic game I have ever seen in a long time. Like, it was combining, like, you know, cinematic. It's kind of like how they did with Max Payne, like in-game cinematic, with you know, used for their cutscenes and everything like that. But it wasn't really cutscenes. They didn't really show any cutscenes. It was all in-game, which was the impressive part. And it looks insane. One cool thing was, you know, when the shooting took place, he was able to, your character actually opened a car door and was able to get one of the survivors from, you know, this big car crash. He pulled them out, and that was all, you know, during gameplay. He told them to get down. Another cool thing is when he actually vaulted over the car and he shot the guy straight in the face who was taking cover behind it. And then, you know, the huge explosion that just, like, blew out of nowhere. And then you could see, you know, the character just really interact with, you know, what just happened. You know, he was just blown away by it. You know, he got on the floor. He, you know, tripped over a couple things. It looked awesome. And different playable characters. At the end, your character was, you know, trying to avoid the police, and all of a sudden, you know, as he got in his car to try to drive away, all of a sudden the camera switched to a new character, and he was doing something different, you know, different than that character. And it's pretty cool. You can play as different people now. They did show a lot of people, different people in the game, you know, that you're able to play as. So, fantastic. Really good on Ubisoft's part, though. I really do have to give them a big hand of applause. Thank you, Ubisoft, for trying something different. I appreciate it so much. I'm buying that on release date. In fact, if you guys are gonna have any special collector's editions, I'm purchasing that thing straight away. The only downside is we did not get a full release date, but I expect by E3 2013 we'll probably get, like, it'll probably come out. I'm expecting right now a late 2013 release, you know, for that game. I don't think we're gonna hear about it anytime soon, but I think at E3 2013 they're really going to focus on that. So, all right, next up is Sony's conference. 33 minutes. Let's do this. Now, the good thing, I think Sony's conference was, out of everyone's conference, I think theirs was the best. And the reason I say that is because they jumped immediately right into the games. They had a 90% focus on exclusives for both the PS3 and the PS Vita. Then they had a 5% focus on, you know, PlayStation Move and multi-platforms, and then another 5% on why the PlayStation Network is great and why they think you should, you know, why PlayStation Plus is going to be, you know, cool service, what they're integrating into it. Probably it was just a really well put together conference. It felt short, though. It felt kind of, you know, it didn't feel as long. Maybe that's because, you know, they just had a lot of exciting things. I don't know the full length of the conference, but it felt like a lot shorter than all the other conferences earlier. So, but to jump straight into the games, the first game that they showed was another new IP, and this one was from Quantic Dream. You know, the guys who developed Heavy Rain. My, you know, Game of the Year pick for 2010. Overall Game of the Year pick for 2010. It was amazing. But it's called Beyond Two Souls. Okay, Beyond Two Souls, subtitle. And pretty much a surprise. I mean, I didn't really expect. A lot of people were kind of saying, "Well, they may show their new title at E3," and I was like, "Hmm." And they really just it looks like they're going back to the fictional state, like with Indigo Prophecy. You have this character now who can like control things, or she has like some weird powers or something like that. It's weird, but it's kind of we. I'm interested to see how it plays. All right, Ellen Page is the main voice actor. She's also I think she's also plays Ellie in The Last of Us. So she's the main. I think she's in 2 games this year, but she's playing the Judy Holmes, who is the character for Beyond Two Souls. Um, it looks extremely realistic in terms of graphics and stuff. Like it's very photorealistic. Like you can tell, like the same. They really improved a lot in terms of facial animations from Heavy Rain, and that was one of Heavy Rain's main focuses was character facial animation when it came out. Like, look how believable the characters are, but the environments looked good, but they weren't just fantastic, like, good quality. It was all about the character facial animations. And they really look like they're really they're really, as far as experts go, they really do look like they really just hit it out of the park. I mean, it's not LA Noir with the facial animations or facial capture, but it is, for something that was designed using a computer, it looks incredibly, authentic. Uh, but I'm interested about the gameplay. Will it play the same as Heavy Rain? Will it be different? I don't know. They didn't really show any arrows pointing down or buttons to press at any point. It was just like it was like no no hints or no on screen effects as far as buttons go. I'm just interested to see how it plays. So, but it looks good. Cross-play with all PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Like now they're introducing, how it works with Vita and PS3. I'm not interested in All-Stars Battle Royale. I'm not a big Super Smash Bros. Fan, so I'm not really interested in those types of games. But it's nice that instead of just saying, here's how the game plays, they actually did showcase how it's going to work with the Vita and the PS3, which was a question that a lot of people had. Everyone in the audience actually got a free PlayStation Plus membership for 1 year. They gave a 1 year voucher for PlayStation Plus just free to everyone. Like, you'd expect them to give like a 3-month card, but they just said, here's a year free, and that was nice of them. It was nice. Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified is coming this holiday. It's the PS Vita tie-in game with Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Now, here's my question. Will it be Call of Duty Black Ops, the same campaign and everything like that on your portable dice, or will this be like a new series, like a prequel to the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 storyline? If that's the case, then yes, I'll buy it. But if it's like Modern Warfare 4 Reflex Edition, which is just Modern Warfare 4 on the Wii, if it was just the same game with the same campaign and the same characters and the same multiplayer, then why would I really need to buy it? But if it's like a tie-in, like prequel to Black Ops 2, then that might be something interesting. So that's coming this holiday. And it's nice that it's coming, all these games that they announced, all these hardcore games that they're saying coming for the Vita, it's nice that they're announcing them now and saying that they're actually coming out this year, and you're not going to have to wait like 5 years like you had to with the PSP to get decent games. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation is also coming to Vita, and actually has crossplay with Assassin's Creed 3, and that's coming out October 30th, which is the same day Assassin's Creed 3 comes out. So you're going to be playing the... I don't know if it's a prequel or anything like that, but I just think they should have released, it a couple weeks earlier, because, if it's going to crossplay, if it's going to have like some crossplay interaction with Assassin's Creed 3, wouldn't you like to give players some time to play it and actually unlock this stuff before they actually have the full game? So I don't know why it's coming out the same day as Assassin's Creed 3, but apparently it is. But yeah, again, Assassin's Creed game on the Vita looks good. You actually have a female role character now, which is pretty good variety. I'm glad they added that. They showed new gameplay for Assassin's Creed 3, and they actually showed the boat combat now, which looks cool. You can actually control the boat, which is nice, and actually has a dynamic weather system that changes. I think that's a first for the Assassin's Creed series. You know, usually it would just go from day to night, but now it actually has rain, and it will snow sometimes, and it's pretty nice. So they actually had that. Ubisoft and Sony actually have a partnership, and I was watching G4, and they said that Ubisoft is now the largest multi-platform, or I'm sorry, third-party developing company in the world. Is Ubisoft now? So that's like a huge partnership for Sony, and like that's gonna bring them like a lot of advantage. Like they already announced exclusive Far Cry 3, content is coming to PS3. They showed off a little bit more of the co-op. I'm sorry, they announced the co-op campaign, which is going to be a separate campaign that you're going to be able to play with 4 of your buddies for Far Cry 3, which is going to be cool. That'd be nice, just adding more gameplay. What I'm interested to see is if there will be open world co-op where you won't necessarily have to do a single player mission, but like it'll start you off and you can just explore the beautiful island and shoot things just with your friends. That would be nice. And then you actually have a map editor, which was introduced in Far Cry 2 as well. It's actually, they're of course going to have it with Far Cry 3, so that'll be cool. Bioshock Infinite and Dust 514 will support PS Move. That was shown when they were just doing a couple, PS Move press conferences. They're showcasing what games it has, and they actually threw up a Bioshock Infinite logo and a Dust 514 logo. I don't have PlayStation Move. I don't care. I'm not going to buy a PlayStation Move to play Bioshock Infinite since getting that on 360. And Dust 514 I'm not really interested in the first place. So we'll see. PS Move wand failed. There's a PS Move wand fail at Wonderbook when they're showing the girl was trying to unlock the door in the book. So she cast it like 6 times or whatever like that, and it just like wouldn't go, and we're all waiting while she does the same animation. You can see that she was like this with the wand, and it like wasn't working, and it kind of sucks. It's like same thing happened with Nintendo with the Zelda, that the bow and arrow thing wouldn't work with when what's his name tried it. So now it's not working with the PS Move, but again, it's motion control. Everyone knows it's just a gimmick. It's not really perfected. But at least they have some content coming to PlayStation Move. They didn't really talk about it that much, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. They also have another partnership with HTC, and that's to bring PlayStation Mobile. They're now calling it PlayStation Mobile, which is the new PlayStation Suite. They're now bringing PlayStation Mobile to Android devices and stuff like that. And I think HTC has like some exclusive partnership with them, granting some exclusive access to something like that. So another partnership. That's nice. God of War Ascension gameplay, they showed that. We finally get a younger and weaker Kratos. Like when they first showed gameplay and they showed Kratos, like his arms were so small and he was like so skinny I could barely even recognize the guy. But he still looks like he still looks mad, and he still looks like he has a rage to kill things, and he hasn't lost his touch. Or it is a prequel, so I can't say he hasn't lost his touch. That he still had, that he has his touch back with him. Yeah. New takedowns, gameplay mechanics, improved platforming now. As you see, like he was much more easier to control when climbing stuff, so that's nice. More colorful environments. So it was much more light, much more sunny, which is nice. So that's cool. And that's coming out March 12th, 2013. I'm not a big God of War fan, so I'm probably not going to be picking that game up on release day, if not at all, so we'll see. And then The Last of Us gameplay, which is the last thing they showed. Actually, Naughty Dog, Evan Wells or Christoph Balestra, they didn't come up and talk about it, which is kind of odd. I thought they would come up and talk about it, at least one or the guys from the other team. I thought that one of them would come up and talk about it. They just jumped in right into gameplay. So they showed that the first gameplay. Amazing visuals. Of course, it's Naughty Dog. That's probably The Last of Us looks like it's the best looking game ever made, like period, like ever made, and that's on a console. So that's really big. Interesting cover system. You saw that when sneaking around, it wasn't really a cover system. He kind of like just interacted with the cover, and he was kind of like peeking over it like this. But when the shooting got into place, it actually, he actually took cover, like he was taking a third, like from a third person perspective. He was taking cover on wall, and walls and stuff like that. And I'm just, saying like, will the cover system, is it changing depending on your characters, or depending on what's going on around you? If you're in a shooting, uh, point in the game, will he, take cover in a different way? If you're sneaking around, he's just gonna peek over like that around cover. Interesting cover system. I just noticed that. I noticed that. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but just interesting cover system there. Also, you can really see the struggle when he did that silent takedown. Like, it wasn't just like a simple, and the guy falls. He grabbed him, and the guy was like fighting. You can see him like struggling, and he was just trying to hold him down. And it took a while to take the guy down silently, but I like that. Again, it's a survival game, so you're gonna have to have some time to take down people like that silently. Seamless hand-to-hand and shooting mechanic combat. And what I meant by that is during the shootout, with all the guys, when you entered that room, some guy hit him, with the butt of his gun, and again, the game, he immediately got up, and it was immediately a fist-to-fist, hand-to-hand melee combat move, and and then just right back into the shooting like it was a seamless transition. I thought that was pretty nice and very cinematic of them to do that. Lots of cussing. The whole demo, I was watching it on G4. The whole demo was beep 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 ah beep 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 beep. Do we get him? Beep 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 beep. That was the whole demo, was just constant bleeping of cuss words. Just like, honestly, it was like you couldn't even watch it and enjoy it really for what it was. So I'm actually gonna go see if I can get it on YouTube or something like that. But just too much beeping, just too much beeping going on G4. But yeah, they like to cuss. Smart AI. You saw Ellie pick up the brick that was beside her, and she threw it at the guy, which made him which hurt him a little bit. And you can see him, he was like kind of you couldn't see for a while. I guess she hit him in the face with a brick or something like that. And he's like over here, and he's like kind of hunching over, and then Joel came over and ran and just pushed him against the wall. It was pretty cool. So, and then the whole crowd was like, yes, yes, smart AI. So, they're working a lot on that. It's not gonna have co-op as a lot of people thought it would, but if they're gonna have AI like that, that's pretty nice. And the thing is, Joel didn't even have to tell Ellie to do that, so that was nice. She did it on her own. The inventory system, it is a survival game, so there will be no pausing the game as you're accessing your inventory, but it's pretty cool, that map pack, he takes it off, he looks inside of it, and then you have your inventory system there in the menu. That looks nice. Hardcore survival mechanics. Like I mentioned before, there's no regenerative health. So when he got shot, you could see him. Like, he got down like this, and then he got up, but then your life bar, was it wasn't reviving, which is a good change. I know a lot of people are going to like that about the game. Again, there hasn't really been a good hardcore survival game in a long time. A lot of these games that had, horror survival games, Resident Evil, for instance, they kind of branched off from that. And, it's good to see a game like that come back into full focus near the end of this generation. So that was it. That was everything I covered. Overall, what was the most exciting thing I saw today? Watch Dogs was actually the most exciting thing I saw today, even over the Last of Us gameplay. And I'm a huge fan of Naughty Dog because they make AAA games, and their games are always great. But after seeing gameplay of Watch Dogs, like, that was the game that that's like the game I couldn't wait to play. Like, I call up my friend, like, did you see this? Did you see it? He's like, wait, no, and I told him about it. He was like, really? And kind of he was gonna go watch it later. But seriously, like, I couldn't hold it in. I think Watch Dogs looks amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on that. Hopefully, like I said, it's probably going to have a late 2013 release, but I'm eagerly anticipating more information about that, and definitely looking forward to that. So Ubisoft overall, I think Sony did the best out of all the conferences. I thought Ubisoft had the best surprise. Let's leave it at that. The worst? Okay, with the worst conference, I don't want to say... Hmm. Mm. Mm. Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft. Microsoft was the worst out of all the conferences, and the reason is because they didn't really announce anything that we didn't know anything about, and that would have been nice. What Xbox needs is a new IP. They need a new series, something like something like a very iconic, something different, something that people are gonna rush out and buy a 364. Another disappointment: they didn't announce a price drop. They're still charging their stupid, overpriced $300, 250 GB console, which is too much. So they didn't announce a price drop, which is disappointing. But Xbox really needs to get their shit in gear. They need a new series. They need to stop taking all these old series, just putting them out with new characters and new stories and just saying, look, you didn't see this back when the game was released. And they really need to focus on a core exclusive audience. That's what they're missing. A core exclusive audience, all right? I don't care about indie games, all right? I want like a hardcore new Gears of War, Halo, something huge. I want like an IP, all right, that's exclusive to their console. That's what I want. Something like Watch Dogs. I want something like that, all right? If Watch Dogs was exclusive to Xbox and I didn't have an Xbox, I would have fucking ran out and I would have bought an Xbox right away. So, uh, that's what they need to work on. All right, I'm done here. I'll cover Nintendo tomorrow, which could be bad. Could be it's probably not gonna be good at all. It's probably gonna be good at all. I mean, I feel sorry for Nintendo because they just announced their new. Look, it's an iPad and a controller, 2 screens, so innovative. And then Microsoft and Sony introduced their new dual screen thing with devices that you already have, and everyone's like, oh, okay. So what's this about the Wii U? What does it have? It's. I really just hope Nintendo really just needs to focus on hardcore exclusives like Microsoft. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day, and sorry for making this video an hour long. Ouch. All right, this is gonna be a bitch to upload. See you guys later. Bye.